Hey there, my friends. We are back today for another high value video that you want to make sure that you watch completely through, okay? This video is going to be about cancellation policies and what that looks like in the framework of your concierge business. And I'm going to also spin it a little bit differently, even if maybe you have organizing business or even a cleaning business or any other type of business where you are providing services and you're being booked ahead of time. I want you to really think these things through. So this came up recently inside my community Fully Booked Business Club. She asked this simple question: can somebody let me know how your cancellation policy works, please? And so then I asked her what specifically was the cancellation about and to give me more details about the cancellation. And she went on to explain to me a little bit more about the client that canceled on her. And before I gave her an answer, I actually asked her a question. And the question I asked her is, what is in your policy? And was your client clear on what your cancellation policy is? And did your client sign a policy agreement or a contract knowing what that cancellation policy was? Because this particular client, what happened to her was her client canceled 2 hours before a 6 hour session that she had booked with her. The problem here, but this was a learning opportunity for her, was that she didn't have anything in writing and her client didn't know in advance what that cancellation policy is because she never told her. So before we can enforce any type of cancellation policies, you need to make sure that it is written, it is in your business policies that you have your clients sign, and it's in your contract that you have your clients sign. Because otherwise, there's no standard for that. You need to let your clients know this in advance. So I reflected that back to the member of my community. Did you have the contracts in place? Did you have this client sign? If not, this is a learning opportunity. So now she knows moving forward that she wants to make sure that she is sharing her business policies with all new clients that are coming on. And this should be part of your onboarding process. When you are onboarding a new client, you should be having a conversation with them about what your cancellation policy is. And here's why that's so important. Because once a client books time with you, whether it's a 2 hour session or it's an 8 hour day or it's a 6 hour session, is irrelevant. The moment that they book that time with you, that time you are then earmarking on your calendar for that client. So then if the client cancels without early notice, you can't refill that time. So your cancellation policy needs to ensure that your clients know what your expectations are. So for me, my cancellation policy was 24 hours. If you needed to cancel something, we needed 24 hours in advance to cancel. Otherwise, the cancellation policy would be enforced. Now, my cancellation policy changed over the years based on the clients I was working with at the time, whether I was working in 4 hour blocks of time, if I was working in 2 hour blocks of time, if it was a membership client. So my policy actually changed over time based on the packages that I would sell. So what you want to do is make your cancellation policy something that makes sense for your business. So perhaps it's a flat fee cancellation policy. So if a client cancels less than 24 hours, you charge them a flat fee. If it's a bulk of time or you have sold a larger package to a client, you can charge the client. Their cancellation fee is a number of hours. That's how mine was set up. Mine was sometimes in the beginning, I charged a cancellation fee. And then later on, because I wasn't doing one-off services, I only had membership clients. At that point, instead of charging my membership clients an additional fee, I just took it from their hours. Their cancellation fee was 2 hours of time. If it was a large amount of time, if it was just a couple hours, it was a 1 hour time. But it was written in my policy really clearly that I explain to the client up front during the onboarding process. So the cancellation policy gets to be whatever you want it to be. It just needs to make sure that it goes in your policies. And everybody has cancellation policies today. So don't be afraid to have them. Don't be afraid to enforce them, but you do have to make sure that your clients know about it and that they are signing, that they understand. Because this way, when they sign, that they understand. And let's say that you have a client that's a really great client. You love working with this person, and it was a fluke and they had to cancel at the last minute for whatever circumstances. You can also decide not to charge them anything for a cancellation and then just refer back to the policy and say something as simple as, I know this was a one-off situation with you. You know, maybe they got sick or a parent got sick or a kid got sick or whatever. Like there was something that happened, an extenuating circumstance of some kind. You can say to your client, I know, this doesn't normally happen. And then just tell them that, just to remind you, I typically do have a cancellation policy. It's in the agreement, your client agreement. I do have a cancellation policy of X, and tell them whatever it is that your policy is. And tell them, but because this never happens, I'm going to waive that this time. And you get to make that decision, right? So waiving it, if it's like a one-off type of thing, can just like strengthen the relationship and the customer service that you have with your client. But if it's somebody that's always canceling at the last minute and you're always putting putting your time on the calendar for this client and they're always canceling, then yeah, you should definitely be instituting that cancellation policy. And then if you do end up with a client who cancels over and over and over again, I lovingly want to give you permission to just release that client and to just tell them that it's not working. It's not a good fit anymore. You've decided, because there's ongoing cancellations, that it's hard for you to keep your schedule clear and clean, that you'll no longer be working for them. And then you use your languaging the way that it makes sense for you. But again, we can't enforce anything unless there was in writing what they were going to be enforced with to begin with. So, do you have contracts in place? Let me know in the comments. Number 2, do you have business policies in place for your business? Let me know in the comments. Number 3, I also sell a contract bundle that's a comprehensive bundle of all the contracts that you may need in your business, from a simple contract to a more complex contract when you're working with clients in more of a membership style, as well as your business policies and other contracts that you'll want to sign with your clients. Sometimes you might need to sign a waiver with your clients. Sometimes you want to have a credit card authorization form with your clients. And these are all provided to you inside the contract bundle. But I also give you a training that goes with that contract bundle so that you're not just sitting there with a printout of a bunch of pieces of paper and not knowing what to do with them. Because sure, you can go out on the interwebs and be like, oh, give me a contract for a client. But if you don't know the details that go into that contract specific to this type of industry, you are going to miss out on some serious things in that client onboarding process. So I'm going to put a link to that bundle below. And as a special bonus, everybody who has the contract bundle, whether you purchase the contract bundle now or you've purchased the contract bundle in the past, I have a bonus workshop where we're going to come together and we're going to work on our business policies together. And I'm going to give you those details. We'll be sending out an email about that. And we're going to be doing that together so that we can go over and review all of your contracts and policies together as a group, as a fun little bonus activity to do together. All right, my friends, if this video was helpful, hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on an upcoming episode. Bye for now.